Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün dünyanın en iyi 100 genç üniversitesinden biri olan Bournemouth University'de eğitimi Nuriye ve Mehran'dan dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes, Nuriye, the stage is yours now.
Thank you very much, Zainab, and thank you for organizing this webinar for Bournemouth University, and welcome to all our students to this Bournemouth University webinar. Today we are going to talk about our design and engineering departments, and we are very lucky because we have Dr. Mehran Kujilani with us, who is the program leader for the postgraduate programs in engineering. Hello, and and basically what we have prepared for you is a couple of presentations. So I'm going to talk to you about Bournemouth University, the entry criteria, just to give you a little bit more information about what you can expect from Bournemouth University. And also, I'm going to pass over to Dr. Mehran, and he's going to introduce our design and engineering programs. Just one thing, in the right-hand side of your screen, you can see the chat and the questions tab. The chat, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the questions one, and we will look at them and come back to you at the end of our presentations. So I'm going to put my presentation, to share my screen and the presentation with you. Okay, Mehran, can you confirm that?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, I can
okay.
see. Yeah.
Fantastic. So just general information about Bournemouth University. We were established in 1992 as university. Before that, we were a polytechnic. We specialize in professional-oriented programs. And basically what it means is that we make sure that all our programs are made, taking into consideration what the employers are looking for. So they are very practical, and our students learn the skills that employers are looking for. For the past few years, we have invested more than £250 million in our facilities, buildings, in the library, and in new technology. So if you decide to join Bournemouth University, you are going to have fantastic facilities, and you will be studying in a fabulous and great campus. We have done very well this year in the world rankings, and Bournemouth University has been awarded as a top 80 university, as a young universities in the world, under the 50 years of age category. Also, we are one of the top 400 universities in the world. In terms of the national rankings, if you would like to know a little bit more about the engineering, the programs, we are also very good ranked. We are top 10 universities in the UK in this area. We have two campuses, Talbot and Lansdowne. Talbot campus is the home of all our undergraduate students, and this is the campus where you will be studying if you join us for an undergraduate or postgraduate program in the area of engineering. And you can see some pictures in the slide, and that is the fabulous Talbot campus that we have. In terms of student numbers, Bournemouth University is a medium-sized university. We have 17,000 students, 2,800 are international from over 135 countries, and it's quite popular for Turkish students, particularly for programs like this one, the engineering and clinical psychology and other areas that we teach at the university. Our fees for our undergraduate programs are £16,500. For the postgraduate programs are £14,750 to £16,250. that will depend on the program that you are interested in. We offer scholarships, and we have unlimited number of scholarships, so that is the good news. If you are studying a high school diploma, you need to have 80% in your high school diploma, and you will be awarded 2,500 deduction of your fees. If you are studying in your bachelor's degree, you need to achieve a GPA of 2.8 out of 4, and you will be eligible for 3,500 deduction in your fees. So that is in terms of scholarships. Probably you will be looking at the internet, and if you decide to come to Bournemouth and see a little bit about the town, we are located, as you can see in the map, just in the south coast of England. Is about 1.5 hours far away from London by train. Bournemouth Town is very popular as a tourist resort, and also because we have one of the most beautiful beaches in whole Europe. We have 12 kilometers of sandy beaches, so as a tourist resort, attracts quite a lot of national people from around the country, but also international. It's a very cosmopolitan, international town with plenty of things to do. I will describe Bournemouth quite often as a university town. So it's very alive, and plenty of things to do for our students. I put one slide with accommodation because I know that you are going to spend quite a lot of time in accommodation. So it's quite important for you to choose the university that offers you fantastic facilities. At Bournemouth, we guarantee our accommodation for all our students, at undergraduate and postgraduate students. And you have different options. You can stay on campus. You can stay in one of our resident halls located in town center as well. All of them are individual rooms, and they are well equipped with Wi-Fi and utility. The utility bills are included as well. You only share the kitchen and the living areas with other students from the same apartment that you will be living. So if you choose to stay in one of our hall of residence, the rooms also are en suite, which means that you have the bathroom inside your room. In terms of cost, it varies. So the cheapest, it could be around £120 and per week. And the most expensive, it could be £200 per week. But all this information is in our website. Some key facts about the university and our courses. If you decide to study the undergraduate program, you need to be aware that our programs are 3 to 4 years bachelor's degree. The reason for that is because in the third year, our students have the opportunity to do a 1-year work placement. And again, at master level, all our programs are 1 year master level, or 16 months if they start in January. But you can do it in 2 years with 30 weeks minimum of work experience as well. So it's a fantastic opportunity for you just to come to do your bachelor's or your master's degree and to get some work experience in British organization, basically. So Mekran is going to cover a little bit more about the kind of work opportunities available to our students. From me, it's just to give you general background in terms of how the structure of our courses are. In terms of entry requirements for if you are interested in a bachelor's degree, you will need to pass the Turkish High School Diploma or the International Baccalaureate, depends what you are following, which curriculum you are following, with specific grades. Minimum, it will be 3.5 out of 5 or 28 points in your IB diploma. For your postgraduate program, you will need to have a bachelor's degree with a minimum GPA of 2.3 from your bachelor's degree. Now, because some of our engineering programs and also the product designs are very artistic in one way, we also require a portfolio. And in terms of, there are things that you need to send us in your portfolio. I think, again, we can cover that later on during Mehan's presentation. In terms of English-centric criteria for the university, in general, you will need what we said IELTS with 6 overall and 5.5 minimum in each component. For some courses, we request a little bit higher. For all the design engineering programs, it will be 6. And then we accept other qualifications as well, like the Cambridge Advanced or the TOEFL, which is the American system, the Pearson as well, which is another system. So there are different options for you to take your English exam. And we also have an exception. If you are studying 4 years bachelor's degree full in English in Turkey, we will exempt you from IELTS as long as you have graduated within 2 years before you come to the university, and also you have the equivalent of what we call an UK 2, which is about 3.5 in your GPA from your master program. Okay, if you are doing the IB diploma, in that case, it's slightly different. So I think that is all from me. I put this slide in here with some information. My email address you can also find in the chat. Also I always recommend the students, if you are interested about one university, it's important that you look at the website and you check, what other students are talking about the university. So there are quite a lot of blogs and vlogs that you can look at and you can watch, and also contact the student ambassadors because they can give you some information about, their own experiences as well. So this is all from me. I'm going to close my screen. And I'm going to pass over to Dr. Mehran, who is going to talk to you about the fantastic portfolio that we have in this area. Okay, so Mehran, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Nuria. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, perfect.
Essentially, welcome. My name is Mehran Kogilani. I am the program leader in charge of our postgraduate courses within the Faculty of Science and Technology, Department of Design and Engineering. The presentation is primarily based on postgraduate, but I'm also involved with undergraduate. So if there are any questions on that, more than happy to answer those. So essentially, as I said, we are the Department of Design and Engineering. We sit within the Faculty of Science and Technology. There are about 3,000 undergraduate students, and we have about 120 postgraduates. And that number is on the rise. It's actually more closer to 200. So we are truly trying to expand our portfolio. This is to give you an indication of where our postgraduate courses and undergraduate courses sit. As you appreciate, there is a BA, which is the artistic, humanistic side of the spectrum, and then you got the BSc and BEng, which are the technical side of the spectrum. Our masters, they fall on either side of those. We have a master's called MA Design Management, which is, as the title says, Master of Arts, is meant for more creative people. And then we got our MSc Engineering Project Management and our MSc Mechanical Engineering Design. And I will go through more details with those later on. You see, there is an MDes and there is an MEng, Mechanical Engineering. These are, even though they are postgraduate courses, but they are an extension of our undergraduate courses. So unless you have done a BEng in mechanical engineering, or you have done a BSc in product design or BA in product design, you can't do those. Those are an extension of an undergraduate course. We pride ourselves on essentially being very friendly, very close-knit community. Lectures are in large groups, depending on what course you are on, but we run small seminar groups and tutorials, so we tend to get to know each other. The course has continuous assessment as well as examination, depending again on what course you are, and again I will go through those later on. We run a system called peer-assisted learning, which is effectively, we appreciate coming from a different geographical location, being used to a different way of learning, different way of teaching. So what in there we can help you. We run, that's also run in conjunction with what we call study skills, which is every Friday a service which we provide to all our postgraduate courses, where we have a very helpful lady, Carol Maxwell, whose job is to basically help you with the things that you need to help your academic achievements, from how to write essays, how to reference, how to write in a critical, analytical fashion. So she is very helpful. Our virtual learning environment is a website called Brightspace. You may have already be familiar with it, but it's no difference. Different people, different institutions use different platforms, Moodle, Blackboard, and we use Brightspace. So you get used to it. Of course, all our courses have a program leader, and most of our academics are involved with running of the courses across the whole essentially network of the courses. But we do have the other academics who are, because of their expertise, only active in one area. And of course, we run academy advisors. In other words, a mentoring system. And that's, if you're postgraduate, you will be with me. And if you're undergraduate, I will allocate you, depending on what course you are, to different lecturers, unit leaders who look after you. All our courses are essentially validated to standards set by the academic quality, but our engineering courses are accredited to the two premier institutions, Institute of Engineering Designers and Institute of Mechanical Engineers. These are the two highest institutions in the world. And we then have to write our assessment and our documentation to the Engineering Council's requirements. So all our courses are done at the highest level of academic requirements. Nuria showed you images of the university. This is a schematic of the Innovation Center. In other words, where we have facilities for you to use, depending on what course you are on. So we have electronic facility, we have rapid prototyping, we have mechanical fluids. So everything that is required within engineering and design is here. And all you need to do is go to our 4D website and you see the sort of products that have been made by our undergraduate courses, and all have been made here. We do have modern workshops, but we also are forward thinking. So we have banks and banks of rapid prototyping, virtual reality. We are looking into augmented reality, and of course, you can't be an engineer, especially mechanical engineering, without having access to essentially things like dynamics, thermofluids, statics, and electronics. So everything that is the cornerstone of engineering and design is here. Our research informs our teaching, which complies with, as I said, with the Engineering Council's requirements. We work on the foundation of that our research, our education, and our professional practice should fuse together. So when I do consultancy with companies, I'll bring that consultancy with me. And so that's my team. When we run projects, we run it, if it can be run live, we basically involve the industry. And we got projects ongoing with B&Q, Angle Poise, Airbus, BAE Systems. I mean, you might not know what B&Q is, but that's a big chain of DIY. So we are looking at their processes, looking at their point of sale, and essentially the shop layout and the EPOS system, so project management of the equipment coming in and going out. Employability, as Nuria mentioned, we have two things. One, because we have a placement option, and the placement option, as you can see from the list of names there, they are very vast, but there is no real geographical limitation. So long as the company gives the job description, which is in line with the course ethos and course guidelines, you can do it. We have a dedicated employability coordinator who basically helps you with your CV writing, with your portfolio, with your basically interview techniques. We have a placement advisor who monitors all this. And obviously, there is a placeholder, because while you're on placement, in order to maintain your position, this is a standard across all the universities in UK, that there's an £850 fee, which is to make sure that you're kept live on the system. The employability, this is from The Economist, and you can see that the earnings for somebody from engineering can be as high as almost £40,000. We are ranked third in the UK, considering that we are a post-92 university, and there are very famous universities in UK, and we are well above most of them because of the way we run our courses and the content of our courses. This is more pertinent to our undergraduates. Undergraduates, there is with, and that's the reason why you are employable, because at the end of your final year, we have a Festival of Design Engineering where you showcase your work and people get employed there. People monitor this long before it's due, because they are looking for talents. They're looking for somebody who is showing talents, and you're being employed because of your ability, not because you can do one project. So what are our master's courses within our department? We have, as I said, 3 masters, MA, and 2 MScs, and I put the mechanical engineering there because effectively, as I said, it is a master's, but for that you really need to be doing either our own BEng course, or your course has to be accredited by IMEKI. So if you're doing a BEng course in Turkey and it is accredited by IMEKI, then you can do that. The masters are 1 year full-time with an optional placement, which is highly recommended. 40 weeks is currently the minimum. The reason why we use the term minimum, because we have had in the past that companies are so happy that they ask you to stay a bit longer. Units are either taught intensely over essentially 1 or 2 weeks, or run over the length of a semester. That's dependent on the unit, and during the induction, you will be given all the information that you need. Assessments usually takes place between 5 to 6 weeks after the unit has finished. So that means that you have time to prepare, you have time to basically do your background work. And the online timetable is live, so you can actually be notified of any changes in the timetable. Primarily, whether you are a January starter or September starter, a master's course has 6 taught units, which are 120 credits, and an individual project, which is 60 credits. And then you got the assessment board, and all being well, you will be awarded your master's, and then you have the opportunity to go on to your placement and hopefully onto future work. So, MA Design Management. MA Design Management is, as the title says, is designed to basically give you the possibility to manage new products, new projects, and within this is more wider. It doesn't have to be primarily in a very technical area. It could be in textiles, it could be in fashion, it could be in essentially jewelry design, all these. So it's meant to give you that ability to think about how do you manage the design of your product. And the key to remember, most of our courses, we have some core units and some dedicated units. The MA Design Management would have research method, strategic management, competitive product development, design management, design thinking, and knowledge transfer. Of these, design thinking and strategic management are components which are unique to this course. So strategic management is effectively how a company can make money. How a company can make money and keep an eye on the competition and essentially do their 5-year, 10-year plan. And design thinking is how refreshing, how out of the box you are. All you need to do is do a bit of background look and look at how Google has got to where it is, and how Nokia basically went from a logging firm to the giant of telecommunication to almost now having almost point something of a market share. This is our most popular course, Engineering Project Management. It's the proof or the definition of the course in its name. It is a project management course. It's for people who can understand and be able to deploy the management tools in order to make sure a process happens. Now, that can be in construction, can be in manufacturing, that can be in any field of engineering, provided you understand what is required. Obviously, civil engineering of view is different to that of a mechanical engineer, but the core topic is the same. So it's what you get out of the course is the most important things. And again, as you can look at this, you can see that there are some core units: research method, competitive product development, design management, knowledge transfer, but project management and life cycle analysis are, or life cycle management are core to this unit, to this program. I thought that it would be a good idea to share a couple of project titles with you, but in reality, so long as the ethos of the project is around project management, it should be fine. But that's something that you're taught and are given guidance during the core, essentially the common unit which goes across all our courses, which is research method. This is our most technical one. The reason why this course actually exists is simple, because in order to become a chartered engineer, which is equivalent to Euro-Eng if you are in mainland Europe, it's essential. If you are an engineer, your main aim is to become a chartered, just like an accountant wants to become a chartered accountant. However, most undergraduate courses do not meet the requirements of the IMechE for chartered statusship. So there's a need for an academic course which satisfies that. And this is effectively what our MSc is about, which is, on one hand, it helps you to understand the tools, the knowledge, to be able to deal with very complex mechanical systems, but it also gives you an understanding of the underlying projects and materials. But as you can see, it has a core unit called interdisciplinary group projects, which is essentially the requirement of a chartered engineer. In order for somebody to be a chartered engineer, that means that they need to be able to work in groups. They need to be able to manage other people, manage their groups in relation to other groups within the company, within the wider sector. So therefore, we have the interdisciplinary group projects. But being a mechanical engineering course, so we also have failure analysis and prevention and structural integrity. Again, the content of those are fundamentally failure analysis and prevention. That's what I do, which is effectively nothing should fail, but if it failed, why it failed and how to prevent it. I mean, anything from aerospace right through to small products we look at, and currently we've been looking at the Boeing and the failure of those and the 737 MAX. And structural integrity is the mathematical side of failure analysis. So we look at box sections, composite materials, 3D stresses, and at a much higher level than it would have been done at undergraduate. Again, to give you an indication of sort of projects that have been run in the mechanical engineering design, and as you can see from the title, they are around a mechanical system, from prostheses right through to self-tightening with essentially bolts. So anything which is to do with fracture mechanics, to do with failure and design it can be done. With that sort of portfolio, the world is your oyster. I mean, you can be in aerospace, automotive, chemical, communication. There isn't anywhere that you can't slot if you basically able to do the mechanical engineering design. Happy to answer any questions. If there are anything which needs clarification, and if you have interest in our undergraduate, happy to answer those too. Thank you. And I hand you back to Nuria.
Thank you, Mehran. That was really interesting. I'm sure that the students are appreciating the fact that you are joining us today, and you took your time, to show us the variety of programs available for our students. So thank you ever so much, for that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
We have quite a lot of questions, actually. We've been busy here. I'm trying to answer a few questions in our chat, in our questions box. What I'm going to do, because some students are unable to see this inbox, so I'm going to go through all of them, and probably I will be able to answer those questions. And some of them, maybe Mehran, I will ask you as well.
Absolutely, I'm here
for
if
your
anything.
help.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
thank you. Okay, so some of them I actually answered online. Okay, thank you, Eli, for your question. It's with regards to long-term certification programs. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, long-term certification. We do offer, if it's a postgraduate program, sometimes when you don't finish the whole master area, you can actually have a postgraduate certificate, or you can have a postgraduate diploma, depends on the subjects that you are studying. But also, if you finish the whole year master plus the dissertation, you will get your qualification, with his master diploma.
Can I?
Yes, of course. Go ahead. Yes, please.
When you finish your taught units, or you will be told that essentially eligible for postgraduate diploma, proceed to projects. So at that point, yes, you have a postgraduate diploma. Once you finish your project, then you have your MSc or your MA. However, as Nuria rightly said, some students, unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, they may not complete every unit. Then you will be given credit for those units. But it all happens at the exam board. So it's not something that we do ourselves. With the ratification of your qualification, of your award, is done in conjunction with external examiners, which are from other universities as well as the professional bodies.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mehran. Yeah, we are okay. Ada, thank you for your question with regards to whether you can get a conditional offer based on IELTS. How it works in the UK, the education system is slightly different. You can apply for a master's or undergraduate level before you even finish your bachelor's degree. So what's happening is, we received your application. We will be looking at your academic qualifications, your English qualifications, and then we will say, if you haven't graduated yet from the university, you can get an acceptance offer based, it's called conditional. And basically what it means is like you will need to pass your bachelor's degree with certain grades, but also you will need to have an English qualification. As I mentioned before, we accept different kind of qualifications. So in reality, you can apply before you even have your bachelor's degree and your English qualification. I will recommend you to do that, because the majority, what's happening is we are getting quite a lot of applications in, and the courses are getting full. So the sooner we have your application, the more chance you get to have an offer. I mean, if it's conditional, you know perfectly what you need to meet, the conditions of your offer. If it's unconditional, that means that you already meet all the conditions of your offer and you have a place at the university. You just only need to accept that place. So that will be that.
Can
Okay.
I add something else also, please?
Yeah, please.
Within certain courses, we must interview because of the PSRB requirement, which is the professional body. For example, for mechanical engineering, we are required by IMechE to interview the students. It is not an interview; it's more of an informal chat. So, because if you meet the academic requirement for the course, is effectively to make sure that you understand what's in the course. And for engineering project management, the same thing. We, as I said, so long as you come from an engineering background, you should be able to do it. But we have an informal chat just to make sure that you are happy with the content of the course. When I make because your application through the international office comes to me, and what I tend to do is, if you meet the requirements based on what I need to do, as Nuria said, we either make a conditional offer, which would be based on you satisfying certain criteria, such as finishing your degree with a certain level, as well as having IELTS. And we do have occasionally somebody who's already passed everything and they even got the IELTS. So it's an unconditional. So all we require of you to accept, and the international office will send you the required documentation for you to be able to get your visa from the British Embassy in Turkey.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mehran. It's actually a very good point. I completely forgot about the interview that is required in certain courses. So thank you for reminding me that. There is also another question with regards to the entry criteria for, the minimum GPA that the students need to have. Academically, you need to have a bachelor's degree with a GPA of 2.3 in the specific area for some programs. And so if you have less than that, sometimes we can make the exception and we can accept you, but your application will go to Mehran and he will basically look at your academic background, your whole profile, any work experience that you may have, any additional thing that you may have. So as a student profile, we will be looking every single case, and basically, yes, the answer to your question is sometimes we accept lower GPAs, but this will depend on your student profile, and this case by case, and it will be only a decision of the faculty. So Mehran will be looking at your application and will be looking at your transcripts and the areas that you are strong and the work placement that you may have. Anything else?
Yes, essentially every application is assessed on its own merit. We don't compare. Yeah. So, yes, we are able to accept somebody with a lower entry requirements. However, if they've had the work experience, they've been working in the field, their experience will count towards our essential decision. So, just make sure that you upload as much information as you can. So our initial decision is based on what you let us know. If you don't give us the information, then obviously we will be making a decision based on incomplete application. So if you have work experience, if you have anything which helps your application, please put it in. Yeah.
Thank you, Mehran. There is a question as well with regards to partner companies that provide internship. Bournemouth University works with more than 3,000 companies in different areas. And as I mentioned before, we are a professional university. So the undergraduate programs in the third year has an option that students can take what is called like a sandwich course, and 30 weeks they can take an internship in one of what we call partner companies. We have the careers department within the university, helping our students to find a job, to prepare for the year placement. We have also a placement advisor office in each faculty, and these people basically help our students during their placement to find a job as well. Ultimately, it will be up to the student, because some of the companies, students can get paid good salaries, so you will have to actually go through the whole application process, to choose the company that you want to work with, and also, to go for the interview and to prepare for the interview. But this is part of your learning. This is something, that is part of your bachelor's degree. I mean, it will help you definitely in your future. So in terms of which companies we work with, maybe Megran, can you give us an example of some
Yeah,
of
well,
our...
we within undergraduate, we deal with anything from Matmos to Anglepoise to Tata to Jaguar Land Rover to essentially Ford, Vauxhall, BAE System, Airbus. We deal with a whole raft of placement companies. But as you rightly said, at the end of the day, we can't twist the arm of the company to take you. So you, just like anything else, you need to go for the interview. We will help you with your how to improve your portfolio, how to write your CV, how to conduct yourself, how to write the covering letter. But it's the one who actually puts in the work is the one who is going to get a job. And certain placements are a lot more sought after than the others. So you might actually go for the same placement, and you might go head to head with your friend because he or she would want the same placement. And as this is what I keep telling to everybody. While you're on placement, you are the ambassador for the university, and you are the one who actually opens the door for the next student the following year. Because if you are good, the company wants more, and so they will come and say, yes, send me one more next year. And so far we have, because of the system that we have, because of all the mechanisms we put into place to make sure that you apply, you go to a right placement, you've looked at the job description that is given and to you, and the pay is appropriate, and location is appropriate. We have been very successful, but as I said, they can't twist the hand of the companies. And the same thing goes for postgraduate. Postgraduates, the postgraduate students also get placement. Difference between the postgraduate and undergraduate is that undergraduate, as Nuria said, they do it in the third year. Whereas postgraduate, you do it after you finish your project, which is very convenient, because that means you don't have to worry about terminating your placement to come and do your project. And it also means that once the company you've been working with the company, and the company thinks that you are very useful for them, then they can essentially apply for sponsorship for you a lot easier, whereas before they would have had to let you off for at least 15 weeks to come and do the project, which was a long time for them they could have hired somebody else. So everything is working to your benefit in that sense.
Yeah. Another point as well, to add to your comment, Megran, is that because the changes in visa for the students have changed in the last couple of years, our international students now, they can actually do, if they choose to do the placement, is 2 years master's program. And after that, as Megran has said, is if there's some companies, they will continue to offer the students for another couple of years some placement, because in reality our international students can actually apply for the GIR visa, which is the the graduate international route visa, which was implemented in July. So that will be another option for you. I know that one of the questions in the chat was about work permit after graduation. So I hope this answer your question. We have as well one question with regards to PhD programs. And I hope you can help me with this one,
okay.
Which is basically Bekir wants to know whether he has the chance to become a research assistant during his PhD program. Can you?
Right. Okay. As a PhD student, if there is opportunity for some lab work, for some tutorial sessions, yes, but that changes from year to year, changes from essentially from semester to semester, but the possibility is absolutely yes. There are, with most of our PhD students do cover the art tutorial, they do, but there is because you are a student, full-time student, there are limits to the number of hours that you can do. So that's the key. But yes, I mean, if there are vacancies, we will do. But does he have a PhD offer already?
I don't know. I think basically he is interested in studying in the Faculty of Science and Technology, a PhD, and basically we can take your any further questions, outside. Becky, if you are still listening to us, you are welcome to send me an email with more information about what you are planning to do, and if you need any more clarification, I will be happy to come back to you. So that is fine. Okay, we have Erman as well. With Erman has finished an environmental engineering degree, and he would like to know what kind of masters is available for him.
Right. It depends what you mean by environmental engineering. Do you mean that you've done environmental as in climate change, the art side of environmental, or have you done the technical side of environment? In other words, air conditioning and ventilation, which is essentially you can do a whole master's on that alone. So it depends what you have done. Ultimately, you should be asking yourself what you want to be at the end. What is it? What is your vision for you? Which area you want to work in? What do you want to be? Do you want to essentially work as an engineer? Do you want to work as a manager? What is it that you want to do? But if we take it as though you are doing, you were a technical engineer, in other words, you did ventilation, air conditioning, and fluids and mechanics and all this, in that case, there are masters which either can go without mechanical engineering design, Or you can actually look at the green economy and other masters which are in other faculties which are around the softer side of environment. You need to decide which one you want to do.
Thank you. Yeah. So we have time for one more question, and it's one with regards to the living conditions and whether it's rent or and how much it's going to cost. As I said before, we provide a variety of accommodation within the university. Our students can choose to live in our student village, which is located in campus, and or can live nearby in the main town. It's only 10 minutes far away from Talbot campus, so it's not very far away, 10 minutes by bus actually. And we always say that students need about the money to pay your fees, which it will be like a 16,000 if you are coming after January. And then you need about 8 to 9,000 pounds for your accommodation, plus another 8 to 10,000 pounds for your living expenses. If Bournemouth is not the cheapest place to live, but it's not the expensive place either in comparison to big cities. If you decide to go to London, obviously the accommodation and the living expenses is going to be double, almost. And so you need to calculate that all in all, you will need basically like a 35,000 pounds, and so which is quite a lot of money. But you are invested in your future, which is hopefully that will come back to you in the future. So I personally, I believe in education. I am originally from Spain. I came to the UK to study a bachelor's degree and to learn English. For me, opened quite a lot of um, doors, and gives me the opportunity to um, to to get professionally basically develop, which is quite good. So it was a good investment. It was expensive, I have to say, so I do understand perfectly how quite a lot of students feel about coming to the UK to study and to live. But I think you need to choose. Education in the UK in general is excellent, and you will be pleased with what you learn, the skills also that you learned, and you can implement in different areas. And also personally, you will also prepare yourself to to work in an environmental that is more multicultural as well, which enrich your life. That will be my personal view. So I think we have okay. Yes, it's unfortunately it's 2 o'clock, and we have prepared this webinar only for 1 hour until 2 o'clock. Becky, I can see your question in the chat. Do you mind just to send me the question to me? In the chat, if you look at the chat, you can see my email address, and you are very welcome, to send me the questions, and I will take this out. But we are a little bit over the time, so I would like to take this opportunity to thank all our students for engaging with us and for joining us today. Also thank you ever so much, Megran, for your time. As
My
I said,
pleasure.
it's invaluable, and is really I'm sure that the students will appreciate the opportunity to talk to you directly and to hear more from our courses directly from someone who teaches them, which is fantastic.
My pleasure. Just a quick refresher on the question for PhD.
Yeah.
You need to distinguish between a scholarship and funded PhD.
Mhm.
Scholarship is a discount. Funded PhD is funded. So, if you are thinking about scholarship, I'm not sure if we do have any for postgraduate research as a PhD, because that's different. The funding comes from somewhere else.
Mhm.
And if you're going to be thinking about you paying the fees yourself, the same rule applies. This time, for over that £30,000 has to be over 3 years. So please do your sums and be forward thinking. We do our best to help. We are here to answer any questions. So more than happy to, if any questions need answering, to answer it later on.
Yeah. Well, thank you about so much. And I will also take this opportunity just to thank IEFT for organizing this webinar for us. Zeynep, I think is done from from our side. If you want to add anything, or you want to close the session.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation, Nuria and Mehran. It was really informative webinar for the attendees, and you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers too.
Thank you very much, Zeynep.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
I hope,
also-
thank you. I hope to hear from you, from the students, and in the future, if you want to contact us. So please do feel free for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are going now. Thank you very so much.
Bye-bye.
Also,
Bye.
I'd like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Bournemouth University ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adresinden ve ekranda görmüş olduğunuz mail adreslerine ulaşabilirsiniz. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Aynı zamanda sizi alttaki webinarımıza da davet etmek isteriz. Thank you very much again, you guys. It was another great session with you, and it was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Zeynep.
Stay safe. Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.